So that's the end of Evan's turn 2. Vehicles moved up there. Terminators disembarked from the Land Raider up towards the objective. Those guys moved and ran another 5 inches. They are jets. Librarian and his squad deep struck. In the shooting phase, they took a shot at the back of the chariot, and we remembered that he's not allowed to challenge out of the back of a chariot, but they whiffed their shots. The Predator, with one side sponson and its turret, took a shot at the Doomsday Ark on the right of this shot, but did nothing. The Land Raider took a shot down on the other Doomsday Ark, and as you can see from the token, managed to get a penetrating hit, knock a hull point off, and it shook it, but the living metal shook off the shaken result. So the net result being no more quantum shields and 1 hull point lost. And that was the turn. So we're at the bottom of 2. Over here, the Overlord made a sweeping attack on the Librarian squad and then charged back into close combat. The sweeping attack, he missed all of his hits, and he also shot at them and missed all of his shooting as well. He had a total of 5 attacks out of that and rolled 4 1s and a 2. Then he charged into the back of Belial's squad again. In that close combat, the Wraiths killed one of Belial's. The Mind Shackles worked, but affected a guy, but he didn't kill anyone. The Wraiths killed 1 Terminator, and in return, Belial killed a Wraith. So that was a wash, but they're all fearless anyway. Over here, the Doomsday Ark on the left dropped a large blast on the Terminators and killed 3 of them. The Doomsday Ark on the right did nothing. The quad gun took a shot at the Predator and also did nothing. The 2 Night Sides that came on from reserves shot at the Terminators and did nothing. And the D-Lord moved up and then successfully charged the Land Raider and got 2 glances and a pen. And the pen, he rolled a natural 6, which, considering he had an AP1 weapon, became an 8 to well and truly blow that Land Raider up. It was out of hull points anyway, but unfortunately blowing it up has left him nicely in line of sight for the Vindicator behind it, as well as the Predator. So he probably would have been happier with a wrecked result. And that is the bottom of 2. So that's the end of Evan's turn 3. Movement consisted of that Terminator squad consolidating up closer to the objective, and that was it. Shooting phase, the Vindicator missed the Destroyer Lord. The Predator took 2 las cannon shots, both hit, both wounded, so he's left on 1 wound. The 2 Terminators whiffed all of their shots at the D-Lord, so he's alive, albeit on 1 wound. Over here, the Librarian tried to cast Psychic Shriek against the Overlord before he realised he counts as a vehicle and it doesn't work. So they charged in.
Still rolled perils.
He perils himself, but we just decided to cancel that whole psychic phase. So,
oh yeah, I forgot.
Out of that close combat, as you can see, the Wraiths ended up dying, but they took down a couple more Terminators in the process. So that combat is now technically ended because the Overlord is obviously not locked. And we continue on to the bottom of 3. Bottom of 3, in the movement phase, the Necrons decastled. So the 2 Doomsday Arks moved at combats at cruising speed over to there, and the Ghost Ark over to there. Actually, the Ghost Ark moved flat out to get there, so it's lucky its shooting did nothing anyway, because it couldn't have shot. My last Scythe came on and moved over to there. The other 2 Scythes split up, as you can see there, and the Catacomb Barge swept over Belial's squad and then moved in the shooting phase flat out over to there, and the D-Lord moved up in front of where the Vindicator was. In the shooting phase, that Scythe got 2 hull points and immobilised the Predator. That Scythe there, combined with the sweeping attack, killed Belial and left his squad down to 1. They couldn't shoot because they moved and can't snapshot a blast. He did shoot even though he couldn't, but it's alright because his shots did nothing. The quad gun shot at the Predator and did nothing. That Night Scythe killed 2 of that Terminator squad, and the D-Lord charged the Vindicator, which hadn't moved, so 4 automatic hits resulted in 3 pens and a glance, and one of those pens resulted in an explode, but that did nothing to the D-Lord. So that is the end of that turn. Probably fair to say that the Necrons have the Dark Angels on the back foot at the moment. Top of 4. So at the end of Evan's turn 4, movement phase consisted of the remaining Terminator from Belial's squad moving and running off around the corner, and the rest of the squad moved up onto the ramp. Then in the shooting phase, the Predator turned its turret round and blew away the Destroyer Lord. There was no other shooting, I don't think. No other shooting. I think they shot with no effect at the flyer. In the assault phase, this squad here successfully charged where the Doomsday Ark used to be, beat the bejesus out of it, and unfortunately for them, one of them died in the resulting strength-free explosion, continuing a little bit of ordinary luck for Evan. So it's now the Necrons' turn 4. I think they're looking increasingly